we had the wonderful opportunity to enroll so far 4 premium kits this week, 4 people on a premium, and as well as a advanced and 2 cores. And that's a great run. And I want to share kind of the insights of this so that because we're all in the same boat, we all want to have this kind of activity, and I don't have this activity every week, but I'm praying that we're going to have more activity like this for our whole organization. So here's the foundation of what I'm doing that help pave the way for this as well. And so first, I pray. I understand that this is not really my business for me, that I'm just a steward of it. And so I say, God, from me as a Christian perspective, I like using the Bible to guide me. It seems to be a little smarter than me and my own. And there's a great scripture says, unless the Lord builds the house, them who labor do so in vain. So when I'm laboring, I want to make sure as I'm God's laborer and I know he's the one who's going to build it. And that was the Old Testament. And the New Testament is a great scripture. It says that Apostle Paul planted, and his helper Apollos watered, but God made it grow. So I understand where we're at today, 26 months in, and how the size of organization, the blessings and the miracles we see, the money we've been blessed with. I understand where it's coming from, and I know it's not me, but I'm a part of it. Like I can mess the whole thing up. But it's a team effort. And I have to operate in principles and precepts on a biblical basis to get access to everything God has for me. And so I'm asking God, please go before me, burden the hearts to call me, like Greg Morenbeer said a few weeks back. Love that. And, but I'm asking God to be bigger than me, to be the one who's going to be a blessing to me. So I pray. Particularly, I'm going to events and so I may pray several times a day. God, continue to go before me, And so then thereafter, what I do is my perspective. My perspective now, and I didn't have this coming into this, 26 months ago, but God's opening my eyes. I'm a slow learner at times to show me how I can think to really get after this. And the perspective is God has everyone picked out for me. He has everyone picked out for you. Some people never see all that because they get discouraged and they tap out. God still loves them. There's still hope. It's just going to have to be found somewhere else and not in this opportunity. But in this opportunity, God has everyone picked out for you. And I'd hope to think you're going to believe this is the opportunity. Why? Because bigger than you or me are all the countless lives we're going to change. And that's the best part of life is better to give than to receive. And you get more in return when you give and when you live a life to be able to point others to this opportunity, to this patch, to the future they could have with this, then it's powerful. And so in that context, I'm like, okay, God, you've got everyone picked out for me. And so let's go find them. And that doesn't mean everyone is going to sign up with me or everyone's going to listen, but I've got to get through the thorns and the thistles to get to everyone that God has picked out for me. And so I know that I'm going to scatter bountifully. I know abundance is a principle of God, and God will not be mocked. That which a man sows is going to reap. And that means God's in on this. And he's the one giving the benefits or consequences based on my actions. And so I want the reward of the actions of the best he can do for me. And that means I need to be abundant in my mentality. And for you, that may be different. That could be talking to one person a day. Well, that's 365 people a year. That may be your abundance. For me, it's more. It's 3, it's 5, sometimes it's 10. Okay. And so, but my heart is the intent on scattering bountifully because I know I'm going to reap bountifully. And then after that, I understand that I'm going to come across 4 types of people in my day when I'm sharing this, so I don't have to get all tight and wound up around the axle or bent out of shape or upset when someone doesn't do this. I think should have. I can't believe they didn't have, because I've learned that people are people. And there's 4 categories of people. And basically, based on the good soil analogy in the Bible, it talks about how the farmer scattered the seed. The seed was a perfect product. It was the gospel. Couldn't get any better, from a Christian perspective. And God himself said the farmer scattered it, and some hit good soil, some hit and the weeds choked it, some hit and the birds just took it, and some hit and the sun just sprouted up and the sun scorched it. And that's what we come in contact with. You'll see this. you'll come across good soil people. They'll listen. They'll want to come in. They sign up, right? Then you'll come across people who say, oh, $3 a day. I don't know if we can afford that. I got this going in my life. No, I can't come to that Zoom. And the weeds choke it. Well, hey, don't try to uproot the weeds. Still be loving to people. Don't be weird so that they still will want to listen to you later, because I'm going to show you how powerful that has been for me on getting people signed up this week, and not to burn bridges, right? So just let go. And then sometimes the birds will take it. Hey, Ken, this is not for me. Oh, really? I scratch my head. That's okay. I don't tell them that. But the birds took it, and I see it. And then I see, oh, the sun scorched it. People get all excited, and then they ghost me like permanently within reason. And so the sun scorched it. But sometimes you'll think people are ghosting you. They're not, though. You just got to wonderfully follow up. Don't try to block the sun. Just stay in a light routine of follow-up and dripping on people in love and respect. And that's how you'll continue to find that sometimes people later on will become good soil. So knowing this, now when I'm going out and I'm sharing and patching people, I understand that I'm looking for good soil, and I know it's going to be the minority of people I come across. Just how life is. Because the majority, the weeds choke it, birds take it, sun scorch it. It's okay, because the minority will take you all the way to your dreams. And it's in the minority where you see the miracles. And it's the miracles on the minority make it worth telling the majority. All righty. So what did I do this week? Well, of course, I'm using the pro system. And in that context, I basically am saying the same thing, asking the same questions, all based on health and wealth vision. And I'll share that in a minute. And then my objective is I want to get their eyeballs on a Zoom. I've got to get people's eyeballs on a Zoom, or I need to be that Zoom for them, right? And then I'm using a sign-up sheet. I do not, when I'm with somebody, I'm pulling, and I still have the older sign-up sheets, right? They have the old name, the things on there. It's not proper. I don't care, because it's just me writing it on here. But for me, the fastest way to get people signed up is not to try to fumble through my phone and try to take the time to key that in, but I can handwrite a name, address, phone number, birth date, and credit card information, and what pack they wanted in a 1 or 2 sleeve auto maintenance program way faster than trying to thumb that through on my phone or type it in my computer. Unless I'm with them right then, I'll do that. But usually when I'm with them right then, I've got these sheets in my car, my Cyber Beast, or with me in my satchel, whatever I'm at, my gym bag, and I'm going to just use that because it's so fast. Plus, they can see what they want. Even if these are wrong on here, I can just tell them, hey, listen, it's 3, 6, and 20 pack. You want 3, 6? You want a 3-pack, a 6-pack, or a 20-pack, right? And is it you and your wife that you're going to get on this for 90 days or a minimum? So you're going to go on a 2-sleeve auto maintenance program, but it's right here, and so it just makes it so easy. So let me run down through kind of what my week looked like, and I'll try to run quickly here, but just to kind of show you. So here you'll see 6 people, right? And but there actually is 7, because I actually enrolled a premium kit because my daughter and son-in-law and me and Diana tag teamed, if you will, on a wonderful new couple, the Confortis, Diana and Roy Conforti, that we all had known, and Brittany and Stephen had initially shared with them a while back. But at the season of Diana and Roy's life was just very busy, and it just wasn't the time. And because of one of the business they have is highly seasonal, and it was the peak of season. And then just coincidentally, what happened was last Friday, my wife and I went to CrossFit, and we work out at a multi-function facility that also not only has our CrossFit building, but it also has a big soccer field. So the Confortis had their kids playing soccer, and Diane and I were with the rest of the team coming out of the building, where we do a walk up and down to rest after practically passing out from CrossFit, and we ran into the Confortis, and we just began to catch up, and invariably, obviously, we're going to bring the conversation of, hey, this thing retired us, or whatever you may say, but you just say, and we began to share about how this patch has changed our life, what it's done for them, how it's helped Brittany as well. And says, oh yeah, we talked to Brittany a while back. And then they said, funny enough, just today we were praying, Lord, we need something more. Now remember, my wife and I prayed before. Someone else is praying. There are people praying for the opportunity you have on your lips. And out of that conversation on a Friday night, we patched them. followed the next day, but they were so busy Saturday, Sunday, then followed again on Monday. And then finally we were able to get a meeting with them because we want to point their eyeballs to a Zoom. And I really want to get with them one-on-one, show the presentation to them. And we did. We met in a public setting near where the soccer fields were at, and there's a lot of activity going on. And Diana had to watch one or two of her young, awesome boys just so we could stay focused. And we just stayed the course, and bam, next thing you know, they see the vision and they're going to crush it. And they sign up on a premium kit. And I called Brittany up, said, listen, Brittany, the Confortis are in. We signed up on a review, and bam, that was that on Tuesday night. Well, also on Tuesday morning, I had someone follow up with me, actually text me back, because prior to that Tuesday, back once again on a Thursday, or actually on Friday, I'd been to a networking function and ran into, and I prayed at the networking function, Lord, please open up opportunity. Next thing you know, I'm talking to people. It's like the Lord just started bringing them to me. And I talked to a woman that I have great respect for, that we've known each other for years, but we've never really talked much. And now I'm sharing about this patch because they're asking me, hey, Ken, what are you doing? I said, well, this patch basically retired me. But otherwise I would say, hey, well, this patch, I'm helping people win big with this patch, and we're seeing amazing things. Oh, what is this? And I'm like, hold on, you haven't heard about this yet? Because, no, what is this? And I went to I say the same thing every time. Stem cell reactivation patch, works off light in the body. Nothing goes into my body, and so works off light from inside the body, but doesn't conflict with any drugs or medication. But this actually turns on our dormant stem cells. Matter of fact, at our age, most of our stem cells are dormant. And I don't know about you, but my doctor never told me this, that when you're a baby, all your stem cells are active. By the time you're 30, only half are active. By the time you're 60, almost none are active. And the aging process is really setting in and kicking hard. And, we all can feel that, right? Yeah. Well, unless you have this patch on, it's going to turn those things on back normally, naturally. And here's what it did for my wife. Here's what it did for another friend. Here's what it did for my autistic granddaughter. Is this something you'd like to learn more about for you? And it's like, oh, yeah, I've got half those issues you talked about. And my husband's got this going on. I say, awesome. I said, listen, here's the deal. If you decide to wear this thing for 90 days, here's what's going to happen for you. I said, in the first 90, your collagen in your body is going to refresh. And first of all, I tell them is 97% of the people who wear this in 90 days, they're going to see a result. And that's noteworthy. But in 90 days, the collagen in your body is going to refresh. So your skin, hair, your nails is going to get better, more supple. Your hair is going to be thicker, less gray, skin better. In 8 weeks, your cardiovascular is going to be restored to a 2-year younger state. Number one killer Americans today. In 4 to 6 weeks, the late lobe of your brain is going to balance to your sleep, your energy, your focus, brain fog, just going to get better. You're going to be going through Publix just feeling better. But the anomalies of joint pain and other stress are going to dissipate away as you get through that 90-day window. But if you want, I'll share one of these with you right now. And so you can see how easy it is to wear a technology. Would you like to do that? Sure. Well, here, I'll text you also a link and learn more about it. And there's a great Zoom going on I can point you to as well. And so that's what I say to everybody if you stood with me all the time. I want to make sure they understand it's not just one patch or in 1 month. So having said that, Lori then finally, she texted me back after I dripped on her, because Sunday night we'd had a great, because her husband has something she's not on this call, so I'm not going to share it, but we had somebody else share a major testimony on the same thing her husband has. And I grabbed that testimonial, had it cut down in size, and I texted her that testimonial. And then on Tuesday morning or Monday, I think Monday morning, I got to look at my phone here, but she basically, Tuesday morning, she said, Ken, I'll do a 90-day supply for my husband. And then if it does works well for him, I'll come on board. So sign Lori up, boom. And then this is crazy. On Thursday, I'm parked out front. I'm in my car and outside in an area where there's a lot of people, and I have a couple of people doing selfies in front of my car, and I'm in the car. They didn't see me. And so I poke my head like, oh, I'm so sorry. And I get out of the car, and they start talking about the car. And then they say, hey, well, what do you do? I said, this here. Oh, what's that? Now, this couple was with another couple. They're from Minnesota. They have a home down here, and they're getting ready to get on a plane in 2 hours, and they just happen to be walking around before they get on. And I tell them about this patch, and what it's doing, what's done. Well, I just told all of them that, and said also this company's doing amazing things. I said this has been financially a blessing to me. And the woman says, oh, I've been looking for something like this. That was good soil. And what happened out of that? They basically ended up buying a premium kit right there on the spot. going on a 2-sleeve auto maintenance order. That's what good soil looks like. It wasn't so much of how I said what I said, it's that I'm in the game scattering and good soil got brought to me and got answered. Right. And so then Amy here, Godin, another thing, I was at networking function, patched her. She said everything I told you I just said before. And then I pointed her and Derek Scarberry both to a Zoom on Wednesday night that was being done by Kathy and Carl Firestone. I point them to a Zoom. I want to get their eyeballs on a Zoom. And it's funny. So I texted him to follow up and she said, yeah, my husband and I are going to get on right before. And then Derek Scarberry, he was another person. I happened to just drive up to a Starbucks. I got out, I walk inside, I come out and I look across the way and I know I knew him from somewhere before. And met him like one time at a Bible study, maybe 8 months earlier. And he's out front talking to somebody, actually another pastor. And I ended up talking to him and then got talking about the patch. Said the same thing I just told you all I said, and patching him, patching the pastor, and then say, hey, there's a great Zoom going on. It was a Wednesday night, Kathy and Carl Firestone. And I right before I said, oh, hey, Ken, my wife and I can jump on. The boys are busy right now. We'll jump on. And basically out of them watching the Zoom, followed up, Amy bought an advance and Derek bought a premier kit. And he said, I guess he makes really good money. He said, man, $2,000, that's nothing. The amount of money I spent at the doctor. So he's already sold on a premier kit. And it was just amazing. Good soil, right? And then here I was, and one more last time here, a couple things. I'd gone to a morning event and with Greg was there as well. And it was a networking function. And with Jerry Reed was there. And he's someone I had shared this with before. And he just wasn't interested. Like a couple, 3 times shared this with Jerry over the past several months. And each time at an event, we'd be at another event, I'd share again. It just wasn't interested. Wasn't time. The beautiful thing is I didn't burn any bridges when I shared it. So I was still open to hear it because we hadn't seen each other in a long enough time between these events that there was curiosity to say again. But this time he seemed interested. And this time we shared. And then I said, hey, let's get on a Zoom, you and your wife, and let's share this. Well, he couldn't make it at the time that day. It was on Thursday. But on Friday, we ended up getting together. And so out of that, and he knew what happened for Greg and what's happening, for the money he's making, what we're making. And I knew that was a vehicle that he believed, and he believed in the technology. And bam, he ends up buying a premium kit too. And we're going to help him crush it. But in the meantime, that morning, Albert, Friday morning, he owns several very successful restaurants in where we live. And a lot of people know who Albert is. I respect. They've written articles on this guy. I just happened to bump into him outside in a coffee shop with him and his son. They have a couple cyber beasts. I've got one, and they're having coffee. And I began to tell him about this patch, everything I told you. And I ended up patching him. And, I said 90 days, and he called and he texted me the next morning and says, okay, Ken, if this thing can work if it works for me, I've got a bunch of people I can sign up, but I need to see it work for me. I'll buy some for 60 days from you. I said, no. I told you, sir, before, it's a 90-day window. Boom. You're going to want that 90-day supply, and that's what he did. He bought a core. So, these are some of the samples. And so in the Q&A, we can talk further about this so I can share with you. But what you're seeing here is God's favor and good soil. And also, you're not hearing all the no's I got with all the people I talked to this week. I talked to a lot of them. So this is the benefit that came out of that.